What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of San Diego Prep Insider. I'm Christian Pedersen, joined as now we are weekly by Raymond Brown from San Diego Football Network to talk all things high school football. Raymond does great things, all things San Diego football, from high school to college to the strike force and professional levels. He's an absolute must-check-out resource here in the San Diego football scene. We talked to him specifically for the high school stuff. Raymond, thank you very much for being here. Let's talk, now that we are 3 weeks in, about who we think are favorites, or maybe who even just are outright already the team that has won de facto this championship, and it's everyone else is just chasing them for second. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So I'd like to do this from 5AA up to 1, because to me, 1 is always a sticky situation. If you start splitting hairs with open and 1, and you kind of do all these different permutations. So let's hit people with just some clear, straight out favorites, because I actually think that the 5AA one is the easiest of any of these, because you look at Army Navy, and to me, this is the most literal definition of no disrespect to everybody else, but these guys are just built different. Your thoughts on 5AA so far this year, and who you think is, if there is any, the favorite?
Yeah, I think it's Army Navy's to lose, man. They got so many great athletes on that team. They don't even seem like a 5AA team. They look more like a D4 or D3. So yeah, I think they're the favorite.
Okay, let's move up to Division 5, and if you guys need to check out any of these divisions, we'll have the link in the information below, and the link in the bios and or comment section, yada yada yada, as to how you can specifically find all these lists and follow along with who everybody is in these divisions. Because again, we're just talking about like 1 to 3 type of teams right now per division, so no disrespect is always meant to everybody. Please check out the full lists. Let us know who you think are going to be the favorites to win, or who maybe is a sleeper to win, or who you just think is still going to be good, because 3 weeks isn't everything, and we know that. But through Division 5 in 3 weeks, I think you could say Hoover looks good. They have 1 bad loss, 2 great wins. Kearney looks pretty solid. I think that there's nobody that I'm saying is quite as runaway favorite, but I still like Hoover the most in this division. Your thoughts?
I got to go with Valhalla, man. I was at the game when they played at San Ysidro. San Ysidro is another great team in that division, but Valhalla, their run game is phenomenal. They just got to clean up some mistakes as far as turnovers. But Valhalla's a team to watch in that division.
I also think that maybe El Cajon Valley deserves a little bit to be in that conversation. But yeah, I definitely, if you go check out also the highlight from Valhalla this past week, turning a 99-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Always love to see Jalen Cruz and company on that defensive side performing to, try and keep pace with the scoring, like you mentioned, from that Valhalla offense. Let's go to Division 4. And I'm looking up and down on this list right now. And I mean, D4 feels at this point like I should almost ask it, has Mt Miguel won the Division 4 championship at this point with their 3 weeks of excellence?
Yeah, I don't see a team on here that's playing better than Mt Miguel right now. Mt Miguel is just rolling on all cylinders, living up to all the preseason hype and beyond. I've heard some rumblings about them moving up to D1. That's how great they're playing right now. So yeah, that's Mt Miguel's to lose. You never know, man. We've seen crazier things happen, but I just can't see any other team on this list competing with Mt Miguel or even having a chance.
I want to put some cold water on any of those rumors about them moving up to Division 1 at this point. It's not a thing that happens in the middle of the season. There is no overarching conspiracy from CIF directed at Mt Miguel. It's just not how any of this happens. It's a big section, a lot of stuff going on at that section office. They don't have time to care. My apologies, but yeah, to me, it was going into this season, it was a question, because anytime you ask a new head coach, new players, new pieces, you always go, okay, I see a little bit of it. I think we knew Jeremiah Castillo on that offensive side was going to be talented, but to see 3 weeks where their defense has allowed like 7 total points or something like that, and the offense is scoring almost 50 a game, and they've beat other in-division rivals like Chula Vista so decidedly, I don't see anything but them stopping themselves type of thing. Like they seem like they have already won this of anybody. Them and Army Navy are the two like most just head over heels favorites. On to Division 3. Looking up and down the list right now. I mean, I thought Grossmont, if we were filming this 1 week ago, I would have said Grossmont was a favorite. The loss to Palo Verde Valley is quite literal, like kerfuffle in the middle of D3, because that puts now Palo Verde would beat Grossmont in a championship game. So I'm wide open as to who here in this division could be a favorite. Your thoughts?
I'm looking at Palo Verde Valley, man. That was a shocking win. Grossmont. I thought Grossmont was going to run away with that. That offense is just a basic offense, left, right, and we might pass it every once in a while, but it works. They got the athletes to run it. Very powerful offensive line, just dog piling their way down the field. Very, very basic, man. Football at its finest form. The way Palo Verde Valley is playing right now, I think they could win their third straight CIF.
Mission Bay has to be the one other team that has maybe jumped out so far early in this season. Charlie Hutchison, notably at quarterback for his first time playing high school football, is having well ahead of the curve type numbers early on this season. I think I'm looking up their schedule right now to see what they got coming up the next couple of weeks.
We could see a D5 rematch in D3. I mean, those looking like the two best teams.
Are Palo Verde and Mission Bay headed back towards a rematch from this was 2 years ago? Yes.
Yes.
They were, yeah. So Palo Verde, Mission Bay,
at Grossmont, ironically.
if we end up, don't get me started on Palo Verde's specific success at the Grossmont stadium. But if Palo Verde and Mission Bay end up being like a best out of 3 series in the course of 5 years or something, that would be an epically weird combo to have as like deep-seated rivals in championship games. Looking down the list, they got Sweetwater, La Jolla, Morse, Patrick Henry. They got a pretty winnable. Mission Bay has a very winnable schedule with a couple of tests sprinkled in. So we will know more as the season goes on. But, you're right. This could be, now that I'm thinking about it, that could be a weird second set in that. Division 2, Del Norte looks fantastic. Looking up and down, Mount Carmel is still undefeated. They are looking really solid. I'm curious your thoughts on D2.
I like Oceanside. They're used to being in D1. Their fall off was epic since winning the D1 championship, but I think they're slowly but surely on their way back, and winning the D2 will solidify that. Also like Del Norte, it took a tough loss to Torrey Pines, but that's a D1 school. So La Jolla, even though they had a tough loss, I still like what they're doing. They played a tough game against El Cap. Yeah, man, this is going to be a crazy. Steel Canyon looks amazing. They've been battle tested. They've been playing nothing but D1 teams lately. So man, that's a crazy division, man. University City, Point Loma. I mean, it could be anybody, man.
Yeah, this one, you certainly are right that it becomes a lot about strength of schedule and interesting matchups of, Steel have a couple losses that are those, silver lining moral victory type ones where they got them toughened and strengthened up to play a little bit above. But Oceanside certainly is one that you want to watch very closely in this division because, like you mentioned, they are allegedly, with their new coaching hire this year, a trajectory to get themselves back into being one of the preeminent North County, if not San Diego wide football powerhouses. And you want to be there on the start of that journey. So that's kind of fun. On to Division 1/Open. Carlsbad and Lincoln. We've now mentioned it for enough weeks that I don't look, speaking directly to Carlsbad and Lincoln. We could do entire shows based on your greatness. You guys are two of the most elite teams around in San Diego, in California, in the country, in whatever, like really, really good. So let's talk about you every week, but apologies if for this segment, we are going to kind of gloss over who's your favorite. Cause I want to talk about D1, given that like in 3 weeks, the math will have kind of already figured it out that there are going to be only 2 or 3 teams vying for that second or that third and fourth spot in open. And like, okay, we'll get to that in a couple weeks in terms of who do we like to win open, because the real conversation is going to be, is it, do you like Carlsbad? Do you like Lincoln? It's going to be a rematch. We know it. So let's talk about that D1 race then, assuming the Carlsbad and Lincoln go up and everybody else is who we're considering right now for that. Who do you like in D1? What are your thoughts so far this season?
I was really impressed with the way St. Augustine hung in there with Granite Hills. Their quarterback went out, of course, so they had to run a Wildcat. Coach Gladnick had to go back to his days at Torrey Pines, and they were running the ball well, man. William Flores, freshman, he was busting out there. I was very impressed with the way he played. Also, I don't know. Some of these teams I like are open division quality. Helix is playing great. Cathedral's playing great. Modern Day, I think their open division chances are gone. So that could be a sleeper team right there. Could win another D1 championship. Man, I think Granite Hills is an open division team if they can run the table. But that game against Helix is going to be tough. I think those two are going to cancel each other out. Madison, Cathedral, and Lincoln, I think those 3 teams will cancel each other out. One of them will go to the open. Yeah. 2 of those teams could be contender in D1. So I don't know. This is tough, man. Like we said last week, this is going to be a bloodbath. Those remaining 12 in D1 who don't make the open, I think that's going to be a tough playoff. We're going to see some upsets and some unexpected, but don't sleep on Modern Day Catholic. While they might not be an open division team, they're a very good D1 team. So I wouldn't overlook them just yet.
Fair enough, man. All right, let's talk about this upcoming week of games. Give me 3 big ones that you're looking at.
Man. Granite Hills going to Eastlake. I don't know, that might not be such a good game. I was looking forward to Grossmont at Mt Miguel, but Paul of Valley ruined that one for me. So, but I think that's still going to be a fun competitive game. Helix traveling to Madison, that could be an open division contender game.
And, yeah, that's one of those games where I was talking about the math is going to kind of figure itself out, because with Helix playing Madison and Granite Hills still at some point this season, somebody has to take losses in those games. They're not going to all end as ties. So yeah, it's hard to discuss the open until the math plays out a little bit more. Any other games that you like this weekend?
Also like La Costa Canyon at Mira Mesa. That's going to be a great match between Division I contenders. Tyson Line is balling. Chris Brown is playing great as on both sides of the ball. And La Costa Canyon, they've been playing pretty good too. They took a loss this past week, I believe.
I always give everybody a pass for losing cross-section games. I don't really.
Yeah, same here. I don't count those.
And then I suppose last game that we now always have to watch is Palo Verde Valley. 1 and 2 yes. Palo Verde Valley that is somehow still a division favorite because of their ability to beat Grossmont. They take on San Jacinto Valley Academy. I guess don't ever doubt the Yellow Jackets. Raymond, thank you very much for joining us. What else can people check out from San Diego Football Network this week? What do you got coming up?
Top 23 players, another 23 honorable mentions, more highlight videos, previews, predictions. Check me out, sdfootball.net.
Can I say that doing 23 and 23 feels like setting you up for a dangerous precedent, where if you stick around in this game too long, you'll be doing the top 45 in 2045. Like, that's a lot to go through, man. I really respect it. I was
going to stop at 50.
Deal.
And go back to the top 10.
Cycle it back. All righty, man. Well, we'll keep checking with you all the way until 2050 on that. Raymond, thank you very much for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.